Today is March 30th, 2025, and I'm on YouTube and I'm trying to get caught up with comments, just going through some of them. And a guy named Mark, I don't know how to pronounce this last name. His comment says, "I am a very curious person. I really love to watch your videos because it's the truth. What are you talking?" So English isn't his first language. I wasn't an fruitarian, but was 2 weeks on raw vegan, about 80%, and I felt amazing, never better in my life. I would love that you would do some video how you began with fruit diet. What was the biggest issues at the beginning and so on? How did you find this ultimate truth? So I was on this journey and didn't even know it. It started with me learning about what I was eating. This is why I stress reading labels so much. People eat the way they eat because they don't know what they're eating. They think they're eating food. You know, when they eat, say, like a bag of Doritos, they think they're eating a bag of Doritos. They don't understand that what they're really eating is on the back. And if they just flip the bag over and read that paragraph of ingredients, then they would see what they're really eating. And they would realize, like, I'm not eating a Dorito. I'm eating about 25 different things at one time. I'm eating all of this shit that I can't even pronounce. And that's what it is with everything in the satanic American diet. You're never eating what you think you're eating. When you understand what you're really eating, you'll stop eating this shit. If you care about yourself just a little bit. People eat the way they eat because they don't know what they're eating. But if you're eating things that come in bags and boxes that have ingredients labels on it, comes in a bottle, whatever. If it has an ingredients label, then they're telling you the truth. But people don't take the time to look for the truth. But for me, that was just a pivotal moment in my life, and it changed me forever. Just learning about what I was eating. Now that journey took probably a decade for me, because I wasn't trying to become a fruitarian. I didn't even know what a fruitarian was. I was just learning about what I was eating. I was in the beginning, I was just trying to lose some weight. So my journey didn't start to become a fruitarian. I had probably been learning about what I was eating for close to 10 years before I even heard of the concept of eating just fruit. That's what changed everything for me. Learning the truth about what I was really eating. That's why I'm so big on calling things what they really are and not what they programmed us to call it. Because when they want to brainwash you, when they want you to fall in line and accept their agenda, first thing they do is change the name of whatever it is they want you to accept. Like, there's no such thing as steak and brisket and beef or pork. And a chicken is not a chicken when it's dead. There's no such thing of chicken nuggets and chicken breast. There's no such thing of any of these things. They changed the name of everything that people eat to make it more appealing, make it more attractive. I mean, imagine if you saw what they call hamburger meat in the grocery store, but it was labeled rotten flesh from a dead cow ground up. You probably not buying that. But when they put ground beef on it, it's like, ooh, sounds good. There's no such thing as ground beef. There's no such thing of beef. It was a fucking cow. It was never beef. They call it beef. You see, they changed the name. You murdered a cow. You cut that cow's body up into pieces, and you're taking the flesh off of that corpse and you're packaging it for sale. And as soon as you kill the animal, the flesh begins to rot. That's why they have to freeze it. You would never buy that shit if they didn't freeze it. You wouldn't even go into the store if they didn't freeze it, because the whole fucking store would stink. The whole store would smell like death. They freeze it. They hide the smell from you. They use poisonous gases and other things. They hide the real color from you. They brainwash you with marketing and advertising to make you think you need it. And then you get it and you get home and you further deceive yourself with seasoning. Because even you're not going to take the shit right out the package and eat it, because you already know it's nasty. So you trick yourself into eating it with a whole bunch of what they call seasonings. These are artificial flavors. It don't matter if they're natural. They're still artificial flavors, because these flavors do not originate with that flesh. You're adding these flavors to that flesh. They're artificial flavors. And then you put heat to it because you still can't eat it like that. And then you put sauce on it because you still can't eat it like that. When you understand you're eating the rotten flesh off of a carcass of a murdered animal, when you understand you're eating the body parts of a murdered animal, and when that becomes a part of you, you don't have to try to not eat it. You die before you eat it. And it's the same thing with what everyone eats in the satanic American diet. Like, people think they're drinking milk. You're not drinking milk. You're drinking the bodily fluids from a cow. It's full of pus and antibiotics and hormones. And from what I've read, it's full of, there's blood in it, there's feces in it, but they call it milk. I call it pus. It's a lot harder to drink it when you call it what it is. It always comes down to this golden rule. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. People think they know the truth because they memorized it. I could tell you something right now, and you think you know it just because you can repeat it in conversation. You could go to somebody else after watching this video, and you could see them eating whatever, some flesh. They think, let's just say they think they're eating a steak, and you, after watching this video, you could be like, man, you ain't eating steak. That's the rotten flesh off of a carcass of a murdered animal. That's what you're eating. It's rotten flesh. And you think you know it. But you don't. There's levels to knowing. There's so many different levels to knowing. But you don't really know it until it changes the way you think. It changes the way you talk. And it changes what you do. It changes how you live. That's how you know the truth. And if it's not doing that, if you're still struggling with eating certain things that you know are bad for you, you don't know it deeply enough. And so the way to know it deeper is to keep hearing more and more about it. They brainwashed us into eating the way we eat by putting their messages out there and causing them to play over and over and over. And so we just got to do the same thing, but in reverse. We do it for our benefit. They did it for their benefit. They tricked us into eating this bullshit so they could make money. It was all driven by greed, by the love of money. That's it. But we can do the same thing for our benefit. So we stop listening to what they're telling us, and you start listening to the truth and nothing else. It's the truth that sets you free. Nothing else. But the truth has to become a part of you. You have to get it in you. It's not enough to just hear it. That's a start. That's enough to inspire you to want to go deeper. But you got to keep hearing it until it goes from here to here. When it becomes a part of you, when it's in your heart, then the actions are just gonna align with your new beliefs or with your new knowing. I don't struggle to eat fruit. I don't have struggles. I don't have temptations. I don't have cravings for other shit. I've stacked up too much truth. It's impossible for me to be tempted. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible. Like, if I could put myself, if I repeatedly put myself in situations, then eventually I'll start being tempted again. But I know too much truth to even do that. Like, I know too much truth. Like, I don't even want to be around the shit. I know too much truth to go to a cookout. I know too much truth to go to any type of event where they're going to be serving that bullshit that's not food. I don't want to sit in the midst of a bunch of people eating and none of them are eating food. They're all poisoning their bodies. They're all eating body parts. They're sucking the flesh off of the bones of murdered animals. I don't know what the fuck I want to be in an environment like that for. I don't want to see that shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. But that's because of the truth I know, though. That's how much I'm always stacking truth. You hear people talking about stacking money. I'm stacking truth. My bag is truth. That's what I'm going after. Truth is the prize. There's nothing in this world more valuable than truth. Truth is everything. Truth is what holds this entire universe together. I don't chase money, I chase truth. I don't chase women, I chase truth. I'm always after the truth. But it's not enough to hear the truth. It's not enough to know the truth. You also got to do it. And that's where, because when you're on this journey pursuing truth, you're going to come to a lot of fork in the road moments where you got to make a decision. I'm going to either do what the truth say, or I'm going to keep doing what I was doing. And it seems like most people, when they come to them fork in the road moments, they choose to just keep doing what they were already doing. And so that's why you see just people all over the side of the road that are broke down and not growing. Just like cars on the freeway, just broke down and not going nowhere. Because they don't want to do what the truth is telling them to do. Because the truth is going to have you make what appears to be some really tough decisions until you make them. I've had to cut a lot of people off during this journey. And some of them people I didn't want to cut off. But I just had to trust the truth was leading me and guiding me the right way. You have to trust the truth. That's another element. Like, if you don't trust the truth, which most people don't, most people trust the lies. They don't trust the truth. That's why they don't do what the truth is telling them to do. So you got to trust the truth enough to do what it's telling you to do, even when you don't understand it, even when it don't make no sense, even when you don't want to do it. People don't want to do that, or they scared to do that. Like, I don't know, it could be scary. I ain't gonna lie. It could be scary to do what the truth tell you to do sometimes. But then when you do it and you see how things work out, so you got to build that relationship with the truth. Relationship with truth is just, it's no different than a relationship with a woman, a relationship with a man. Like, it could be scary to cut certain people off. Like, I've had to cut off family, so-called family, my kids. Like, it don't get any realer than the life that I live and the choices that I've made. Because ultimately, I'm choosing to trust the truth. And I follow it. I'm striving to follow it wherever it leads. That's why I grow so much. And that's why others don't. And that's all it comes down to. That's it. And so over the course of well over a decade, every time the truth would show me something about what I was eating, I would say, okay, I'm going to leave that alone. It's time to end that relationship. Yes, I love the way it tastes. It's my favorite thing in the world, but it's time to end that relationship. Like, most people know they need to stop eating certain shit, but they don't want to end those relationships. Like, people don't want to end a relationship with coffee or with sugar or with, whatever they love eating and drinking. People don't want to end a relationship with eating what they think is meat, the rotten flesh off of the carcasses of these dead animals and cut up body parts. And people don't want to end a relationship with drinking pus and eating pus. Truth already told them that, hey, you need to end that relationship. They don't want to. Cakes, pies, cookies, all of these lies. People don't want to end the relationship with the lies. So they never grow in truth. Everything truth has guided me away from was a lie. That's all truth does. Everything truth has told me to do. Leave this alone, leave that alone, leave him alone, leave her alone, da 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 da. It was steering me away from the lie to the truth. The lie being, I thought he was my friend, I thought she was my friend, I thought they were my friend, and they weren't. I thought he loved me, I thought she loved me, I thought they loved me, and they didn't. And a lot of these things I didn't even realize until after I did what truth told me to do. And see, that's the thing about truth too. You don't get all the details up front. It's like there's faith required, there's trust required. You have to trust. And so you don't get all the details up front. You just may be given a direction. That's it. No why behind it. And if you do it, then the why comes after. And then your eyes are open, and then you look back, and now I see why I need to let them go now. Wow. But you have to do what the truth tells you to do first. See, it's like the truth ain't going to show you all that first. It's just going to say, leave them alone. And I'm not saying it's going to say it like that, but you know in your heart you need to leave them alone. That's truth talking to you. You feel it. And that's all you get. And you may have no idea why. And you don't want to let them go because you love them, you care about them, and you think they feel the same way. And then if you do what truth tells you to do, it'll open your eyes to what was really going on. It'll open your eyes to the truth. And then wow. And that's how it's always been with everything, everyone I've let go of, cut off. But see, this is what stops people's growth. They don't want to do. Truth is the only thing that can set you free. Nothing else can. So what else is there for you to pursue? Nothing else can help you get free. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing else can help you get free from addiction. Truth set me free from addiction. Truth set me free from eating all that bullshit. It's because of the truth that has become a part of me that I don't have temptation. I don't struggle eating just fruit. In a city, in a major city, where the potential for temptation is everywhere. I'm surrounded by it every single day. And yet I'm walking through this valley of the shadow of death without any temptation at all, without any fear. Truth did that for me. But it's because I do what the truth tells me to do. That's what it's about. My journey began with learning the truth about what I was eating, trusting the truth enough to end the relationships with these things I was eating. And I'm just doing that. Boom, boom, one step at a time, one thing at a time, whatever it is. I've become celibate on this journey because truth led me that way. I didn't know why. I had no idea. I was with the baddest, bad meaning good, the baddest woman that I had ever been with in my life. She was fine. She was perfect. Everything Everything. We never argued, never nothing. Like in like 3 years, we might have had 2 little spats. And I mean, like, they didn't even last 5 minutes. I don't even think they lasted 3 minutes. And there was no arguing. It was just a slight little bit of tension. And then it was over in 3 years. I was free to do whatever I wanted to do. She was free to do. It was beautiful. It was perfect. I had the perfect relationship. And all of the needs that I needed a female to meet were being met. There was no pressure, no obligation. There was nothing. I had to let her go. Truth led me to a path of celibacy while I was with her. That's a fork in the road moment like a motherfucker. I had to trust truth to go down that path and tell her that I wasn't having sex no more. And that's all our relationship was sex. We were just 2 sex addicts, basically. And as soon as I told her that, she was gone. I couldn't even be mad about it. Like, I understand. Because if it was reversed, I would have been gone too. It seemed like a tough decision to make at the time. But once I made it, truth opened my eyes to why it led me that way. I had to trust the truth first. Once I showed that I trusted the truth enough to do what it was telling me, then it opened my eyes and showed me I was a sex addict. I didn't even know it. It opened my eyes and showed me how much sex influenced my life. And how I wasn't even being myself. Because every day I'm striving to please some female in hopes of later sleeping with her. That was my mission every single day. The way I dressed, if I got a haircut, if I had a clean shave, like the shoes I wore, everything was about the girl. Everything I was doing was for sex. I didn't know these things at all. I had been living for decades like this. So I'm just saying, there's no telling. Everybody's journey is different. This journey of eating fruit is a journey about truth. This is a truth journey. That's what it really is. Eating fruit is just part of that journey. And each time you reach one of these fork in the road moments, it's an opportunity to grow or stay the same. You're making a choice. Am I going to grow or I'm going to stay the same? That's all it is to it. And people can say whatever the fuck they want to say. I could just look at how your life is. And I could tell, oh, you, especially if I've known of you for a little bit of time, I could say, oh, you choose to stay the same. I could talk so much about that. Ooh-wee. But I got to edit this motherfucker. And I'm already close to 30 minutes. So I'm going to wrap that up. I think I gave you a lot, though. I gave you a lot right there. And that's something you could work with. That'll get you going. That'll take you very far in your journey. Not only that, but this is something to live by. And this doesn't just apply to eating fruit. This applies to life. So, yeah, pretty long answer to your question, Mike. But there you go. I appreciate the question. I'm happy you enjoy my channel, enjoy my content. And I'm happy that it's helping you. Salute to you. Salute to all of you on YouTube. I'll talk to y'all soon.
God got me, they hate me, but still watch me. No fly zone, but I'm having an out of body. Young Riley, better known as I move wisely. Can't knock the hustle is deep inside of me. I might let a hater slide on a good day. I'm just trying to catch a vibe, can you feel me? Long as we live in our lives, then it's okay.